If you want to learn from the pros and become the best Madden player possible, check out Playbook GG. Link is in the description and in the pinned comment below. What's going on, everybody? It's EricRayweather back here, and in today's video, I'm going to be showing you one of the absolute most dangerous plays in Madden 19. I'm talking one-play touchdowns versus a lot of different coverages. I'm talking about the ability to beat any type of coverage or defense you could possibly face. One of my favorite plays in the game, and something that you can really use to just take your offense up another step. Now, this video is going to be a little in-depth, so I would just suggest don't click off early, because I want to show a lot of different coverages. I want to show a couple of different setups and what to do if you face certain types of coverages, because it's just kind of important to know how good this play can be in a variety of different situations. So if you click off early, you're not going to really get the full benefit of it. So we're in the pistol bunch tight end, one of the better formations in the game for a while now. And we're going to look at the play verticals, one of the best, most dangerous plays in the game. Now, to my knowledge, this is in the Saints and the Cardinals playbook. Those are definitely the two best playbooks it's in. It might be in one other playbook. I'm just not 100% sure, but those are going to definitely be your best bets. Now, the key is you definitely need a speedster here in the slot, the wide receiver. So we have John Ross. He's 97 speed. Obviously, a Tyreek Hill would work here. I like to try to find like 96 plus speed for this spot. 95 can still work, but you definitely need a serious burner here just for the best results. Now, the first setup I'm going to show you is a very basic setup. What you're going to do is max protect, which is LB or L1 and then up on the right stick. That'll block your running back and tight end. And then you're going to go actually put your tight end on a drag. The reason you max protect first is just because it kind of saves you a hot route step, and it allows you to kind of do those things back to back without having to wait. So you max protect, drag the tight end, and then you want to put Y on a fade, and that's it. Now, the most popular coverage shell in the game by far is cover 3. It's what people like to blitz out of. It's what people like to run stock, and this is going to be super easy to burn for a touchdown. All you do is you let Y kind of get a little bit deep. You want to pass lead it to the left, bullet pass it, and it's an easy rat catch for a touchdown. It'll work like that every single time. It's just one of the most consistent ways to burn cover 3 in this game. So we'll show you again. As it gets to about, right past, once it kind of gets past that cornerback, you just lead this to the left, and it's an easy touchdown. You want to make sure that your bunch side is to the wide side of the field. It's very important. So you see that our ball is on the right hash, so we have the bunch on the left side. If the ball was on the left hash, we would flip the formation and have the bunch to the right side, just for the best results. Now, let's say, they see you run this and maybe they go run back there and user it. That's fine. If they want to go user it, that's when we can, dump it down to the tight end for a huge gain. And I'm going to show you why you get such a huge gain out of this versus a standard cover 3. I'm going to go to the replay and show you. There's a lot of little things with this play that, like I said, that you need to know about. So, standard cover 3 will have the purple zones on the field. This purple zone is going to match this wheel route, and it's going to run with it. So by doing that, it's completely negating the flat. It is leaving the flat wide open. So this is an easy dump down, and you see we're taking this up the field for huge yards on just a simple drag. Now, you might say, well, what if they shade down their cover 3 and then user, the one-play touchdown that you're trying to throw, which is going to be common. Most people, I find, are going to shade their cover 3 down because they don't want to give you quick flats. So yes, that will take away the drag, but then what starts happening is we have this little quick pass here to the wheel route, and you see now we actually are going to be able to take that almost for a touchdown. Tyler Boyd's not the fastest in the world, but you could see that, we were able to almost take that for a touchdown. Now, don't get me wrong, you're not going to get that breakaway every time, because it just kind of depends on how, the cornerback pursues the ball. But you can see that, with speed, you can get past that guy, because if you notice, we'll go to the replay just so I can show you why this is happening. What's going to happen a lot of times is, the cornerbacks just don't react that well. He's kind of like in a no man's land. So like right here, when you throw the ball, like he's originally trying to cover this fade here, but he's never going to quite get back, and then he kind of just starts to jump down to worry about the wheel. But he kind of has this like little stutter right there, and that allows us, if we had speed, if we had someone that was 94 speed or something here, it would allow us to like run past him, and then if we can clear everybody, that's a touchdown. But nonetheless, even if you're only just picking up, if you want a possession catch that, you can do that as well, which I'll show you. And if you're just fine with picking up, the solid 20-yard gain, that's still nothing, to be ashamed of. If you just do this and you possession catch it, you're still picking up a huge gain there, and you're moving the ball very quickly. So you have that. Also, if they shade down, you're going to easily have the crossing route to AJ Green now, which we'll show you. Now, you can throw this even if they don't shade down, but I want to show you. See, you're going to always kind of clear that outside guy there, the outside cornerback. And again, it's another huge gain. Now, again, if they don't shade down, if they run just like a regular cover 3 and, you know, you still just want to throw that route for some reason, what's going to happen is he's going to get matched by the linebacker, but you're always going to outrun him, and then you can just go and you'll always get that little rack, what they call a rack ag animation there, where the guy kind of like grabs you on the back, but you always catch it. That's not the ideal thing to do versus a stock cover 3. Versus a stock cover 3, it's just easier to dump it down to the drag because it's open, but just wanted to show you can still throw that. Now, what if they do cover 3 and they shade up to get cloud flats? Well, again, you can still bomb it for a touchdown, or you can check it down to the drag. So we'll just show the bomb really quickly, and you can see that even with them being shaded up, you still have the touchdown. Now, you know, Dalton overthrew it, but again, we saw the same thing happen there. He burned the defense, and just to go to the replay and show you to save a little bit of time, you can see, again, wide open, he's got his hand up, is the drag here. So, and then again, you would still have this guy, because we shaded up, he's not getting matched. So again, you have this guy running across, and he would get open too. So cover 3 is pretty much toast. Now, another thing I want to show you, because, you know, some of the more advanced players would say, well, what if they take the outside guy and they invert him? So they put him in like a deep half. Now you see how this outside zone is inverted? Now, if somebody does that, you cannot bomb it for a one-play touchdown, but you still just have the other things in the play that you can hit. You know, obviously you got the drag wide open. You can still hit that cross if you time it right. And if they shade down, of course, you would still have the wheel route. Because what a good player would probably do here is they would shade down, because they don't want to give you the quick flats. They would deep half this guy to take away the one-play touchdown, and then, you know, they would use her, you know, one of your routes. Either they would use her the cross, or they would use the wheel. But one way or the other, you know, you still are going to have one of these open. They can't cover it all. So any form of cover 3 is pretty much going to be, you know, easy money for you. Now, that was a lot on cover 3, but wanted to be thorough. Now we go to cover 2. Now with cover 2, that's one of the coverages where you won't be able to bomb the wide receiver on the fade. You won't. But there's still other things you can do with this. So, for one, the crossing route's going to get wide open versus cover 2. Wide open. And the thing with this is, this easily turns into a one-play touchdown just like that. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not an automatic one-play touchdown like it is versus cover 3, but with cover 2, what's going to happen every time is, once you deliver this ball, you're going to have this one-on-one with the safety. It's always going to be a one-on-one. Now here, he actually got to us very quickly, so it was a little bit harder to, you know, he could have easily made the tackle there, but usually you'll have a few, you know, maybe 5 more yards of space to work with. But even still, with him being in close quarters, a simple juke or a spin, if you have a good wide receiver who can spin, it's so easy to make the first guy miss this year that this turns into a one-play touchdown, you know, at least half the time. I'm not saying every time, because sometimes, you know, like right here, Jimmy Smith, number 22, sometimes he'll run you down, he'll get closer, but you have the ability to get a one-play touchdown just because simply if you make that safety miss and you have enough speed, you can easily outrun him. Now, AJ Green, of course, isn't the fastest in the world. He isn't the best juker or the best spinner in the world. But if you have a guy there that can do all those things well and is very fast, you can turn this against a cover 2 into a one-play touchdown pretty often. You see, again, we made a miss and we're just able to pull away. So even versus a cover 2, yes, you have to do a little bit more work, but juking and spinning, as most of you guys know, is very easy this year. So easy one-play touchdown there. Now, of course, again, most people won't, okay, I have to throw the ball away. I forgot to put the tight end on a drag. Most people in cover 2 aren't going to shade down. They're just going to leave the cloud flats on the field. So in that case, of course, you're going to always have the drag as a nice option as well. So if they use your cross, well, you just throw the drag. And again, it's not going to be as much as it was against cover 3, but you're still getting a very solid pickup against this. And then if they were to shade down, if someone tries to get risky and shade down in a cover 2 and they, you know, cover your crossing route to green, and then of course you can't throw A because they've shaded down, well then now you just have, you know, this wheel route that you could easily hit. And I didn't even lead it to the sideline there, which I should have, but you still are going to have that to hit. There's always going to be something open. Now I want to back out and I want to show like cover 4 and cover 6. Now, not something you're going to run into the most in the world, but still I want to show you that you have abilities to beat these coverages. And then I want to show you an alternate setup for the play. So cover 4. Now, here's when like things like previous play come in, because if you're playing a guy and you've had a drive, you know, a drive and a half, and you see you're playing someone that's just running nothing but cover 4. Like, some people just love to sit in this cover 4 defense stock because it looks good. They have 8 guys on the field. You know, they want to have you thread the needle, right? what you can do is you can actually, do the setup as normal, but leave John Ross on his original like streak that goes towards the middle instead of putting him on a fade. And you can actually bomb cover 4 with this, because the strong safety is always going to kind of stay a little bit too far down. And if you leave this to the right, again, Andy Dalton, he's not the best in the world. He's going to overthrow some, but you're going to always have the ability to split the safeties, because that strong safety is going to stay down because of this crossing route to B. And you can easily just like fit this in behind him. And, Andy Dalton is just making us look terrible right now, but you can see very clearly that you can split the defense with this guy and get behind him. And there we just got hit with a super instant block shed, which shouldn't even happen because they're actually on contains in this coverage, so he shouldn't even be shedding like that. But nonetheless, you can see with the speed, you can easily get behind the defense and just like that, rat catch it for a touchdown. So that's kind of just a specialty thing to keep note of if you're playing someone that just loves to sit in cover 4. But again, now if they were, user that or something, again, you're going to have, this wide open, because just like against cover 3, if they stay standard, that purple zone is going to match the wheel route going up the field. And then if they do okay, we want to shade our cover 4 down and then maybe user deep, well, then that's when you have, this crossing route coming into play again. He's going to kind of get in front there, and Andy Dalton's just, making terrible passes for us, but you can clearly see the window is there to hit him wide open. Now, let's look at a cover 6. Now, it depends on which side, so for instance, a lot of cover 6s are gonna be like this, right? With the cover 4 side over here on the left. Against that, you can bomb this guy super easy versus this. So we're going to show you kind of what happens here. You kind of can just throw it up, and this is where you need that speed, and you're going to again get that little rack ag animation where they kind of grab you from the back like that. Very, very simple. Now, if it's a cover 6 and they have the cover 2 side on the bunch side, well, again, then you're it's more like a cover 2 in that case, and you're not going to be able to really get behind them like that, but you still are going to have other things you can hit. Again, you see the drag is wide open. I didn't throw it there, but I want to show you something else that I wanted to show you on the play. So you see the drag was wide open, of course, but what I want to show you is the actual wheel route here. So again, if you put them on the fade, obviously the cover 2 side is going to take away the fade, but then you're going to have, we're just getting absolutely screamed at here, but you can see that the wheel route is wide open on the sideline. So even a cover 6, which isn't something you'll see a whole lot, you can see that once it passes that guy, you can just lead this to the sideline, because both of these, like this guy right here, this safety Weddle, he has to respect John Ross, has to. So you can see that his hand is up. If we lead this to the sideline, that's wide open. You see the drag is wide open if they're not using that. And then this side of the field it's going to be a little bit harder to try to fit something like this in, so you're not really going to be looking there. So that's against cover 6 and against cover 4. Now I want to back out because I want to show you really quickly just another setup. I'm not going to spend too much time on this, but this is another good setup you can use with this play. So you can go ahead again, you want to fade John Ross, but instead of blocking, you're going to fade the tight end, and you're going to leave the running back on his little route. Now, the reason for that is because you can use that as an underneath route, which is really good, and then you have a guy in the open field that's going to be better than a tight end in terms of spinning and juking. Again, you see how wide open he gets against a cover 3 because this purple zone is always going to match with this X route. But you still have the one-play touchdown. That doesn't change with this setup. You can still throw the one-play touchdown with this setup. It's still going to work the same way. You throw it over the top like so, and you get there. So that's what you want to look for every time. But you have, instead of the tight end being your underneath guy this time, your underneath guy is the RB to the running back. But what this also helps with is the crossing route against standard coverages. So if you remember cover 3, the window was a little bit tighter, but now because we have that, again, Andy Dalton just making terrible throws. Now that we have that fade there, it kind of opens up the crossing route more against cover 3s and cover 4s, whereas before the crossing route was mainly, we could fit it in against cover 3, especially if they shaded down, but if they played a standard with the purples on the field and stuff like that, it was a little bit tighter of a window that you could throw into. You could fit it in there, sure, but it was tight. Now, because of this setup, you basically just have to beat the linebacker that matches you, which is super easy because a linebacker just can't keep up with a wide receiver. So that's why I like to mix this setup in sometimes as well. And then because the running back route is so good that I like having that as an underneath option as well. And it pretty much, it works the same versus every defense with this setup. You're still, obviously, versus versus cover 3s and stuff like that, you're looking for the one-play touchdown. If it's cover 2, you're still looking for the cross, and then instead of looking for the tight end underneath as your check down, you're just looking at the RB underneath for your check down. So that's just another way you can set this up. But all in all, this is just a really good play. As you can see, the ability to beat so many different coverages, even man coverage. This is more of a zone type of play. I don't really like to use this against man, but if you are using it against man, if someone's like running a lot of man on you, I would just run this setup, because the running back, I mean, this is one of the best man beating, routes in the game, this running back. So that's something you can do, but typically you're going to see a lot of zone, so I wouldn't really worry about that. This is definitely more something I would use versus zone. You can't really use it versus man too much because it's a little bit one-dimensional versus man. There's only one really good man beating route. So that's all for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful. If you did, as always, you know the drill. Just drop a like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.